Hi guys, welcome to another video. Today we're going to tackle a question and subject that comes up quite a lot on my streaming channel. And that is primarily people ask a lot about how do you create color schemes, or how do I create a palette for a miniature that has cohesion and harmony within the colors. And this is a really difficult question to answer, because there are classic schemes that you can look at, especially with GW minis, etc. And quite obviously when you look at the classic ultramarine, space marine, which is blue, yellow and red, these colors work very well together. But there's a sort of another way which I use, and I don't want to go on for hours and hours about it, because you can just talk and talk about this, but I wanted to demonstrate how I use colors and certain colors on a miniature to create harmony and cohesion within that one miniature. And this is, I don't paint any miniature with a full color palette or scheme in mind normally. One of the ways I do it, and I'm going to use a mini that I've painted recently to demonstrate this. So as you can see this miniature here, this is a dwarf druid from Loot Studios. And the harmony and the cohesion of the colours on this miniature, I believe, work very well. And there's an underlying reason why that is the case. So when I started painting this miniature, the first thing I did was I painted the skin. Okay, so the focal point of the miniature was the skin. Now I used very standard colours, skin colours. I used a saddle brown, a bit of beige red, and some sunny skin tone to highlight, etc. But what I then did was, moving into the shadows, as you can see here on this side of the mini, and in the shadow areas, I moved into using a purple tone. I'll say tone because it's not a true purple. It's a sort of blue purple, but it's more purple than blue. And I love purples. I use them an awful lot because they're great for shading and adding vibrancy, to all sorts of colours. So once I'd started using this colour, I decided to use purple as my underlying tone. So now I know what you're probably thinking, that there's nothing purple on the model. It doesn't look purple, which it doesn't. But the purple tone and the use of the colour wheel has been used throughout this model. And I'll show you quickly on the colour wheel of my thought process. And this is only my way of doing it. And I don't do this for every miniature, but this is a method I use quite a lot when I'm painting. So if I start painting and I want to use a predominant colour, and it's quite usually the more mid-tone and shadow colours that I focus on. So as you can see here, I've very much got this colour. I would say is very close to being a true violet. Okay, so there's a couple of ways I can use colour harmony with this colour. So the most obvious one is using the colour wheel, which means from violet I can use yellow as the true complement to that colour. So anytime I paint yellow or add yellow, I'm complementing to my underlying purple. This works in many great ways. The other way to use it is a perfect triad, which is also like true complements, which is orange and green. Now, when you look at this model, can see clearly on here that I've got the green in abundance, a couple of greens. I've also got the yellow tones, which I've said are the opposite, including the gold, quite a yellowy gold. And we've also used the orange, but sparingly. Okay, but there are orange tones in like the browns, etc. Now, the other key for making this work for me is what I actually did to create that harmony around the purple was every colour I used for each section, i.e. the leather, the yellow, the greens, even the beard and the wood and the gold. I started off by adding this colour into the mix. Sometimes more, sometimes less, but I used this colour in every mix on this model. So you can see here as well, sometimes I've used it more and sometimes less in certain areas, but it was used in every colour, including the base, all the things on the base. So although you can't clearly see the purple or violet everywhere, it is in there, and it's attracting your eyes to the harmony of the miniature. The other thing I did throughout every colour as well, and you can see it probably clearest on the sleeve of the miniature, is all the shading and darker areas of the model. I use that violet or purple to shade things down and to add that colour back in the shadow areas. You can see it on the cloak as well. So the green, like I said, with our colour wheel we have the green, but all the shading areas inside the folds, etc., all have purple. So the purple is adding to the colour harmony of every colour I've used in every element. So even on the wood here, you can see all the little shading areas. At first glance it just looks like a dark brown, but that is purple. All the gold was based in the purple and a brown and built up from there, so the purple is there. This is one way I use to colour harmonise and use my colour wheel. Now, there's other ways to do it. You can, for instance, I'm painting a miniature at the moment where the predominant colour is red, if I can speak. So I'm very much using red as a basis for a lot of things. So a lot of colours, I'm starting from a dark red, more like a cavalry brown, and I'm building yellows, greens, blues up from this colour. I'm also painting reds where I'm adding either a warm green or a cold blue to add contrast to those colours. I'll do a follow-up video of this later about colour temperature and how you can use that in contrast, but I just wanted to put this video out just to give people a quick way of starting with colour palettes, colour schemes and colour harmony. Sometimes it's as easy as picking one colour. Like I said here, I very much picked the purple as I got this very purpley tone in the face, and I worked from there, and then I referred to the colour wheel to see which colours harmonise well with purple. And I think you agree that this miniature, it's got a lot of really nice colour harmony. The colours work really nicely, and that is the reason why. So I hope you enjoyed this, guys. Just a short one today. But let me know your thoughts on colour theory and how you use it. Put something in the comments below and we'll see what we get from there. Thanks for watching, guys.